Welcome to She Can and She Will. My name is Mary Ann Brown, also known as the Country Mompreneur. I'm joined by my co-host, Disa McAllister. We are moms, work-from-home experts, and queens at helping women take control of their lives. On this show, you will learn from us as well as other women who kick butt in their lives and want to help you do the same. So sit back and get ready for some fun. Welcome back to She Can and She Will.
So
we didn't create our jingle yet. That's going to be our summer job, is to create a jingle. We will not sing it.
No,
we will have someone else sing it because we do not want our listeners to bleed out of their ears. We will get a jingle made this summer and it will be fun. So today we are going to be talking about using your strengths in life and in business. Before we get to rolling, what was the worst job you ever had?
I've had a lot of kind of bad jobs.
Which one should I pick?
Yeah. And I want to be careful here not to
name names.
But yeah, when I was younger, I did work for a fast food place for a couple weeks. Yeah.
Oh my God. For a couple of weeks, I worked for a couple of years. I became a store manager. Gosh. Yeah, it was sad.
Oh, wow.
They actually the store managers at fast food chains make pretty good money, but it is stressful as crap. Yeah. Holy cow. It's a really hard job. People sort of pick on the fast food industry workers, but being a manager at that place, you have to go in. If somebody calls in, you got to go in. So you're working mad hours sometimes because inevitably, especially with teenagers, people are calling in all the time.
Oh,
and then customers are mean. People are mean to those workers. So that is a very stressful job. Yeah. I wouldn't say that's my worst job I ever had, but it's a top bad one.
Yeah. Yeah. So so there's things like that where it's just the industry is kind of rough. But I think the worst one I ever had was, it actually wasn't that. The work was amazing when I was allowed to do the work. But this person that I worked for would get me in the door and then not let me literally say, I don't want you to check email because I have something for you. And I would sit there for 6 hours and nothing would come. And I'd be like, I'm just going to check cause if that's a direct order, I can't just say a direct order, right? I'm not wired like that. So I would be like, I'm going to just check my email until you get to me. And then we'll just go from there. I'll just stop what I'm doing and go from there. And I was told directly, don't. I would sit there just going out of my mind. And the worst part of that though was that I didn't think that I could quit. I didn't think that I could. And they were paying me pretty well, but it was sucking my soul dry,
I hate that when you get stuck in a job and you feel like this is where you have to stay and you hate it there.
Yeah.
Hate that so much. That's one of the things that I love the most about what we do now is because we control who we work for. So if it's someone that sucks, we're like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And we're not stuck to a cubicle. That was my worst job, was working in a cubicle. Cause I think I said that in a past episode. Me and the loudness of my voice and my sense of humor, sitting in a quiet office in a cubicle was painful. That was my worst one. Oh, it was just day after day of when am I going to find a different job? Cause this job sucks.
Yeah. When you're in the wrong place for you, you feel it every minute. And, I don't know that any paycheck is really worth, I have done that self-assessment.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not now, but back then, you really think that you have to be somewhere sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And you just Sunday night, you're sitting there the whole night. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. You make yourself sick thinking about it. Ugh.
Oh, that's my gauge now. If Saturday night or Sunday morning, I'm already I don't want to see that person on Monday. I'm out. We're cutting that client. Yeah, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
What?
We have a no jerky client rule in this house.
I think that's the best one. No jerks. Yeah.
All right. So let's go through our little list that we created. The first one is do a self-assessment. So when looking at using your strengths in your life and your business, you're going to want to first just sort of look at what are your strengths, and they may not totally be what you think they would be. There was actually a guy that we worked with previously. They had a self-assessment little quiz that he would give us. Remember?
Ooh.
I can't remember what.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Junior.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
DISC assessment.
yes, a DISC assessment. And those things are so helpful. They really like point out to you. And some of them are sort of obvious, like I like to talk and have a sense of humor and blah, 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 whatever. But also it helps you sort of dive in a little deeper into the kind of services that you can offer people. Because sometimes there will be things that you wouldn't even expect. I never really, the only time I'd ever heard of project management was on the TV show The Apprentice. I had never heard that it was a thing. Like, I just didn't know that was a job that you could do and make money on. I don't know. I'd never heard of it. So when one client had a project management position open and he was like, I think you would be good for this. And I started doing it. I'm like, this is my love. I love making lists, telling people what to do. I mean, this is amazing. So sometimes you just don't realize until you look into what you love to do and the options that are out there.
That's so funny. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. And the next thing would be just find your passion. So like, Mary Ann said, lists and telling people oh my gosh, I so see that as a strength of yours. Yeah. And mine is like, I love setting up automation and finding new tools for things like that. So project management really appealed to me as well. But okay. So they say, if you find something you love to do, you never work a day in your life. But they also say that the only people who enjoy their jobs are scientists and prostitutes. So you can't always listen to them, right?
I am not a scientist. What does that tell me?
Yeah.
What kind of career did I pick?
Yeah. So I think you just have to find within yourself. Like, I love to paint, but if I ever had to get paid that way, I would hate it. So I just have to find something that you like to do enough to make a business out of it. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. If I can't think of what way I like just joking around. But I think this is the thing. When we got into doing the podcast, how we run these is we bullet point our what we're going to talk about, but we don't write it out. In the past, I've done podcasts where I wrote down word for word what I was going to say, and I would write in jokes. And when you try forcibly to be funny like that, it comes off so bad. Like, I always thought, oh, I wish I had been Melissa McCarthy. I wish I had been an actor. I love comedy and doing funny things. And I was like, maybe I should try to do some stand-up. But I feel like if I do anything that's prepped, it sounds super forced and I can't do it. I would only be able to do improv. Like, I just can't do anything that's planned. It doesn't sound right. I've tried it so many times and it falls flat. So I don't know how to do that kind of delivery.
Interesting.
But so if that was my passion, I would not be making much money.
Oh, wow.
So, what's that?
I wonder if that's something you could practice and get better. Like, but
I mean, obviously they have the acting school and stuff like that, but I feel like I'm too old now to do that kind of stuff. I mean, there's no age to being able to do what you want to do. But when it comes to acting, there sort of is. So, I mean, I could be like the old lady on the Titanic. Like, oh, it was funny. Why didn't she get into acting when she was younger? Now she's 100.
I think there's no age in stand-up. You could do stand-up I bet you could clean up and stand-up, Mary Ann.
I'll have to try doing it. I'll try doing it. When you come up, when we meet up, we'll do a stand-up on an improv, and then you'll be like, that is why you don't do it. Good. Okay. I get it now. I get it.
Oh.
So another thing is you got to make sure your resume tells your story. So resumes, they can be all over the place now. They don't have to be one standard way. And if you're applying to be an accountant, it should be a nice formal resume. But if you're applying to be a graphic designer, make it tell your story. Make it look nice. Make it look designed. Depending on the job you're trying to apply for, you really should customize the resume for the job you're applying for. I wouldn't leave out certain jobs because I've gotten jobs. There was one person that hired me for project management. Then they decided while I was working, they decided to add a podcast. And I was like, oh, well, I have experience in in news radio and they were like, really? Yeah, it wasn't on your resume. Well, it wasn't important to this job at that time, so I didn't put it on there. So, I mean, I would highlight the skills that they're looking for this job, but don't leave things out because you never know. They might be actually looking for something else that you could fill a need for.
Yeah, I get sucked into this whole a lot. Like I want to put like, I have a variety of backgrounds, and experience. And so I kind of want to put that in there. But the story that I'm telling is that, I'm all over the place, Yeah. And so
there's not one thing I'm good at. I'm good at everything.
Yeah. So I do have to tailor my resume for every new thing that I go for. But I think, you nailed it when you said that make sure it tells your story. Make sure it tells the story that you want that person to hear. And along those lines, strengthen your strengths. So there's this great book. It's called, oh my gosh, I just forgot it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot the name of that book. But it's basically like concentrate on your strengths. Don't try to if you're horrible at math, don't go spend a bunch of time and energy and stuff trying to bring up your math skills to minimum once you're out of school, because you got to do that for school. But don't try to get up to minimum on that place. You find something you're super good at and then just keep improving that. And that's how you get to be an expert in one area. Specialists like doctors and surgeons get paid hella bucks, right? Yeah, you want to strengthen up the things that you're good at, because a lot of times those are the things that you like doing anyway.
And you can also use even YouTube videos. Obviously, if you're a surgeon, you can't use a YouTube video to learn how to cut someone's brain open.
That's true.
But if you're a project manager like us, there are so many project management platforms out there. So sometimes if somebody comes at you and they're like, hey, I use ClickUp, you'd be like, okay, I'll figure out how. You watch a few YouTube videos, you've learned how to use it. I mean, they all are pretty much the same. It's just a matter of brushing up on that new version. So just watching some videos. Sometimes you could just take a certification too. I recently just took a quick little certification course. And what was it that you had me take? Agile.
Oh, yeah, Scrum.
Yes. Scrum. So just go online, take a certification. Everything that you learn how to do is another thing you could offer a new client, which makes you more and more and more valuable.
Yeah, that's true.
And also don't compare yourself to others. And I have to always work on that one, because there are some people. There was one girl that I went to school with that is so successful right now. And she's successful in a multi-level marketing company, one of those companies. And I have tried so many of those in the past. I mean, I did Pamper Chef, I did LuLaRoe, and she is very successful in one of those companies. And I look at her like, what the heck? How did I not do that? Sometimes it's so hard to not compare yourself to some other people.
Yeah. I fall into that too sometimes. I have to pull myself back from what? Yeah. Why can't I figure that part out? Right. If these people are figuring it out. And the other one is, you don't want to compare your status to other people's status, because it's just, there's so many people underneath you and they're doing the same thing to you. It just is, you're on a hamster wheel at that point. So also don't do what you don't love. I think there's going to be a level of you don't love everything about what you do any of the time, right? If you are a photographer and you love photography, you're still going to have to book your own sessions and take payment. And that's not
the sales part. With us, between us, I hate doing sales. You don't love it that much either, but you hate it just slightly less than I do. So
I like getting in the door, but I am a horrible closer.
But sometimes that's the problem when you work for yourself. You've got to do all of those things. So there's some bits of it that you don't love that you're going to have to do. But I mean, if you really, really love writing and you want to be a blog writer, don't become an accountant. Why? I know you want the money, but you're going to hate it. So don't do what you don't love.
Yeah, make sure you're aligned, right? If you hate doing one thing, that example is perfect. You like writing, but you don't like accountancy, right? Everything about the writing is aligned with writing. So if you have a whole business and you have to do bookkeeping for your writing business, Well, it's still aligned with what you love to do. So it's not like you hate bookkeeping, but you don't like that one part of your writing business. Yeah.
When I went to college, I went to school for journalism and marketing, and it was sort of a thing that if you are a journalism or marketing major, you don't really much care for or enjoy or are good at math or science. So when you would go in, the advisor would advise you on the easiest math and sciences that you could take just to pass those required things. And I took astronomy, which really is much harder than it sounds.
Like I could not
see the things that people could see. Everybody's looking up there like, oh, see this, whatever, Maximus. And I'm like, I see stars. I don't see.
Oh my gosh. I did not even know that about you, Mary. That's awesome.
Oh, it was funny.
Oh
Also, keep in mind and know that you are good enough. And that's what some people, like that guy that asked me in the past in an interview, oh, what makes you worth this much money when I was trying to apply for $12 an hour, please. Know that you're good enough. Nobody else can do and is you. I mean, you have I remember having the jobs in the past where the guy's like, well, I can find somebody else to do your job. Well, I've been here for 5 years. I know where all the secret things are. So good luck finding that person that's going to be able to know that you are good enough for who you are, if that makes sense. Take this away, Disa, because I feel like I'm butchering what I'm trying to say.
I think so much of using your strength is really about mindset, and it's about knowing that you deserve to have what you want, and that you can go after the things that you want because you are good enough to get those things, right? Yes. You can strengthen your strengths and not have to do the things that you absolutely hate, as long as it doesn't align with your business, right? Like, because you are good enough, like you can get up in the morning and do this work and love it and feel fulfilled at the end of the day, and that you deserve it because you're good enough.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant to say. I put that into your head and then you said it for me.
I think you were there.
So with that being said, we do offer coaching sessions for people to help you look at your strengths, what services you can offer clients if you're looking to start your own business, and how you can make the most of your time.
With our life coach, time and project management coach, and second time around coach, we have team members that can help you. Reach out today and see how to get started.
And we will talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. For more information, join us at thepmagency.com.